So one thing that Blessed Geza actually left out on his last note before his death was announced and made public to the people of Zimbabwe, he had a message to Ziyambi, and the message was quite clear. Number one, that he was going to fight from his grave, and number two, he singled him out and threw a dagger and said, "You will run." The question is, should Ziyambi take these sentiments or seriously, or he should just downplay these sentiments? That was, especially if you look at the recent events surrounding Ziyambi, it appears he is under surveillance, because all the details of his travels and what he does, even in his office, the intelligence seems to have those details. Greetings and welcome to your lovely channel, the Hloniphani Global News. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the red or black subscribe button so that next time when we beam live, you become the very first one to watch us. The mind-boggling question is, should Ziyambi take for granted the words that were spoken by the late Blessed Geza just before his death was announced? It was clear that he will run. Now check the events that are happening surrounding Ziyambi. He goes to Nairobi to actually consult with Professor Jonathan Moyo, and he wanted to secretly do this. He goes to Nairobi to consult Professor Jonathan Moyo on his way back before he lands to Zimbabwe at around half to yesterday. His ticket is made public. That we know that you were in Kenya, and we know that you went in Kenya to strategize with Professor Jonathan Moyo regarding the term extension for Emerson Mnangagwa. And afterwards, and that ticket, when I looked at it, I've got my ways of verifying to find out whether something is the truth. The ticket actually reflected truth in it, reflected that it was an accurate ticket. There is absolutely no way that ticket was AI generated. In fact, the ticket was released when Professor Jonathan Moyo tried to downplay what was actually what was revealed and was in the public domain regarding Ziyambi's trip. Now, they did not only know about him traveling to Kenya and coming back, they are aware also that he sneaked Professor Jonathan Moyo in Zimbabwe. Professor Jonathan Moyo was in Zimbabwe. You see the bill that we are busy crafting, and now with the details that were actually released yesterday, and also remember the intelligence report that I shared, of which I suspected that intelligence report was from the Zimbabwe Defense Forces addressed to Emerson Mnangagwa just hours before the meeting, the first cabinet meeting of ZANU-PF. And in that intelligence report, it seems to be aware of everything that was happening, and the font, the style of writing within that intelligence report, you can tell it is original. Barakashi tried to downplay it, that is not, it's fake and so forth, but it turned out the report is original. And if you look at that report, the report was not actually advising Mnangagwa. Under normal circumstances, the intelligence is supposed to actually advise the president. But if you look at those words, it was not an advice. It was a warning that this bill amendment number 3 of 2026, it is anti-people, it is not supported by people, and Mnangagwa was told the truth regarding that bill, that please make sure that this bill does not sail through. Now, we crossed that red line. He did not listen to that intelligence leak that is in the public domain. Now, look at the timing of the leak when the bill was approved by the cabinet of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa. Now, also that was meant to give public awareness that in everything that is happening, Zimbabweans should also be in the picture, that the deep state is against what Mnangagwa is doing at the moment, and looking at trying to convert the youth rally to make it, the youth, was it a rally, the youth celebration, national youth celebration, the birthday of Mugabe, converting it into a 2030 term extension rally. All those are desperate measures of Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa, although they have actually developed some lever to push the 2030 bill has been, in fact, it's no longer the 2030 bill. It is seeking to make 22 changes to the constitution, has now been actually gazetted. Which means it is lying in state. Now we are counting down. It's less than 90 days lying in state, which means after 90 days they are determined to make sure that it sails through the parliament and other actually entities of the government, and then eventually goes to the hands of Mnangagwa to be signed by Mnangagwa. I can tell you that those who want to stop Mnangagwa have the period from the day the cabinet approved that thing and up to, I think, these 90 days. They will be very crucial in Zimbabwe. They will determine whether Mnangagwa is winning. You can see that the strategy they wanted to implement, Ziyambi and Mnangagwa, they are no longer sure of that strategy. There has been stern opposition to this bill, amendment bill number 3 of 2026. Loopholes of this bill are now in the public domain, and that is why Ziyambi had to fly back to, it appears, even the military reshuffles of Asia Walter Tafmane being transferred to the military, the bribing of senior military commanders. It appears all this has been the advices of Professor Jonathan Moyo. I'll be dealing also today with the latest developments, because I have to continue actually pressing this question. Is it ideal for Emerson Dambudzo Mnangagwa to trust Professor Jonathan Moyo? I'll be dealing with this very, very fundamental question. And also, let's wait for that actually live broadcast, because this one is dealing with Ziyambi. So in my view, I'm thinking whatever Ziyambi does. Remember also there was one point Ziyambi had said something about Blessed Geza, and Blessed Geza came out. He stated the address in which Ziyambi actually met, and the bill was done. I think mentioned Virginia Mapiza, but Professor Jonathan Moyo was strategically not mentioned. I think those are that they are aware that each and every move they make, those moves, they are actually watched. Now, the mind-boggling question is, can we then say what Mnangagwa is doing now? He has safely won, and he is safe. He will do so scot-free without facing actually. I think, in my view, the military coup is almost nearer than any other time before. Those wants to undertake it, if they miss it out, then they will lose for good this time around. Unfortunately, it has to be said by me. Other times, I would not give them pressure, because I was waiting for this moment. This is a decisive moment. actually setting red lines for Mnangagwa. Mnangagwa is crossing them, cruising these red lines. Of course, he's experimenting. This whole process, he is actually experimenting. But as much as he is experimenting, he keeps to be believing the mentor that is actually giving him these ideas, and that is Professor Jonathan Moyo. And the other question that I'll be interrogating with, is it safe for Mnangagwa to work with Professor Jonathan Moyo? We'll deal with this on the next live broadcast because I don't want to make my videos to be long. Thank you very much for watching us. If you're watching us for the very first time, please do remember to press the subscribe button. You can also financially support us by pressing the join button and be part of our members who are the heartbeat of this channel. You can equally do so by pressing the thanks button and send us stars. Okancubu Mhlabane is signing off. Let me love and leave you. Let's